The date, August 28th, 2017, is probably meaningless to most of you in the audience watching or listening to the show, but it's significant to me. It's significant to the show. August 28th, 2017 was the first time we ever did Follow the Money in this time slot, a 3-hour show, if you can believe it. It's been more than 7 years now. That was, and to even go down a little bit deeper here, that was the Monday after the Mayweather-McGregor fight. And then we had football starting that week. It was an incredible. So for those who don't remember, hell, back then it was like an internet show before it really exploded and took off and got all over in several different spots across the country and the continent. We were doing 11 to 1 Pacific time when we started in 2017. The network started on the Super Bowl Sunday of that year. We started doing weekends shortly thereafter, and then 11 to 1 Pacific time for a few months, and then they said they had to sit down with us and said, at breakfast at the South Point, we broadcast from there every single day. They said, hey, we want to run something by you guys. We're like, okay, well, what do you have in mind? Well, we want you to go to mornings. Like, okay, that sounds great. Yeah, 4 a.m. We're like, what? Didn't see that one coming.
And Dave Malinsky, I'll never forget it. What if the show's successful?
Oh.
What are you going to do? What do you mean? 4-year contract and then 7 years later.
Yeah.
Whoop.
So fast forward to today. This is the last Follow the Money in this time slot. We are moving to the afternoons. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing for us physically, personally. However, that also comes with, it's an emotional day here today because the show got so big in so many spots. And, we were, for most of you fans of the show, the first thing that you would wake up to. And then, the way it works, radio and TV, it's like, hey, our friends are on TV right now. We can watch them, and they're going to be reliable, and they're going to talk about stuff that I want to know about in sports betting and what happened the night before. That will be sorely missed, Pauly. It's been the highlight of my career. We're in our upper 40s at this point. We've done a lot. But the last 7 years, although it was not easy to wake up every single day with that 2 a.m. alarm clock, no doubt about it, with a bullet, the best 7-year stretch of my life in terms of overall career. And we'll miss it. We'll miss talking to you in the morning, every single morning. There's no question.
I hate change. It's hard.
I know.
But I couldn't do it anymore. I hated my life. You're not supposed to wake up 5 days a week at 2 a.m. I also understand we're in the toy department, and this beats working for a living. But you have the best point here. We're not in the news business. We're not newscasters.
Right. I'll explain this.
Yep.
So, and I have a lot of friends that do that, and they're amazing at their jobs. They can go to bed at 5 o'clock at night. They can wake up at 1:30 in the morning, and they don't have to watch the news the night before. They can catch up no problem and relay the news. We have to watch. We can't fake it. We have to watch games until they're done at night, right? So on a Monday, a Sunday, a Thursday night football games, we can't go to bed at 5 o'clock at night, wake up at 1, come in, hey, what happened in the game? Well, why don't we just go on and BS? We're up until 9 o'clock Pacific time. And that takes, quite frankly, it wore us down a little bit over time. And I got to be honest, there were several weeks where come Wednesday, come Thursday, I'm like, Paul, what do you got in the tank today? Because I got absolutely nothing. Yeah.
I also, the timing isn't ideal. You're not much of a heads up, but if you can blame Jason Robbins. That's just how it goes. There's a lot of moving parts and so starting Labor Day, new time slot. I also, Bill, 80, and Brian Musburger know what they're doing. This is the future. Preview, in play. Most of what we do is in play anyways, and then grabbing everyone who's getting ready to place a bet and get ready for the action, NFL, whatever it may be. Also, as you pointed out how difficult this is, I can't tell you what it means to us that you wouldn't even stay at the South Point or Circa, and you would wake up at 5 in the morning and come down to take a picture or say hello. And then I got in this business because of Brent Musburger, Howard Stern, and Howard Cosell. And all the people that would come by and say, I don't listen to Stern anymore. I found you. And I watch Follow the Money every day. Mm-hmm. I love that we hit every demographic, and people send in dog videos and how that took off, and people gather around as families and watch that with win-lose. And that'll continue. And the other thing, we all got through this together with COVID. And a lot of people found us during COVID. And I give Bill and Brian a ton of credit for keeping us on the air with Russian ping pong and NFL draft and couldn't leave the house and all that other crap that was going on. So, a lot of people that always come by and say, I found you then and you got me through it and thank you. And we wouldn't be sitting here without you as well. So I understand and know we get you through a tough part of your day. The morning commute sucks, and that's going to be hard as well. So give the new people a chance.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going anywhere. We can still catch us, Alexa, VSiN, or just a piece of cake. Watch and listen wherever you go, VSiN.com. New time slot Monday. We'll still be right there. We're just moving back. No more morning show. That's it. iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, same spots, I think, for some of you. Not all of you, but some of you where you can easily find the show. We're going to be doing 4 to 7 in the afternoons on the East Coast, 1 to 4 out here, Pacific time. And to your point, I mean, people are showing up all the time to sign up for contests, but maybe not even staying here. They might be staying at Planet Hollywood or Mandalay Bay or Green Valley Ranch, whatever it is. And they would be here waiting for us by 6:15 in the morning. Think about that. To catch an Uber or a cab to come down to this show until we were done. There was a gentleman who came here from New York a couple of weeks back, and to tie in the COVID stuff, right? They easily could have cut the show. They could have cut our jobs. But they did the exact opposite for this show anyway. And that is they stuck with us, and we did 3 hours every single day. And David showed up, and others from the East Coast recently, and he pulled me aside during one of the breaks, and he said, hey, I just want to let you know, I grew up in New York, so I grew up with Mike and Mike. And he said, the stuff that you guys did during the pandemic not only helped me get through, but it was the best stuff I've ever heard my entire life. So that kind of stuff will never be duplicated. That's going to be impossible to come across again. We just had the couple come in from New Hampshire, bringing us chocolate and maple syrup, and just they had to bring shirts with New Hampshire on the. I have it. I'm taking it with me this weekend when I travel up to Seattle. Yeah, the shirt. But also, like when my dad passed away, and this tells you about the company with Bill Lady and Brian Musburger. My dad passed away at the very beginning of the pandemic, and a month into it. And so I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. Obviously I'm completely broken at that point. I'm kicking around ideas. I know that we're still in theory going to be on the air. They said, why don't you just take a bunch of equipment, take your time, go back there, and you can spend the entire summer in Wisconsin with your mom and your family if you want. They would have let me stay. I went back in late April. I could have stayed there until August if I wanted to. Ended up staying for a little bit more than a month, but they said, just do the show from your parents' house if you want. And you can take your wife, take your dogs back there, and that's exactly what we did. And I will never, ever, ever forget that, obviously. So, but the experiences here and meeting everybody from across the country, and by the way, across Canada, the amount of people who come in, not just from like the western portion of Canada, but for all the folks who come in from, the endless amount of people flying in from Toronto all the time, and then even beyond that, people from Montreal and Nova Scotia who come in. Watching on Sportsnet every single day, and the way that they help build this. But it's for you, though, too, right? If it wasn't for you watching and listening to the show every single day, we would never be here. Again, we were like an internet TV show on Sirius XM to begin. And then they did a great job here, Brian and everybody else, expanding into, those of you watching on Nesson right now, in Chicago on Marquee, and LA, and all over the place. So I'm going to forget a million different spots, but that will be sorely missed for sure here early in the mornings. I hope there are plenty of road shows coming up, too. I hope we go to Chicago. I hope we go back to Foxwoods.
Well, Foxwoods was incredible.
I hope we go to Canada, and I hope we go to Los Angeles, Southern California, whatever. I got that Portillo's gift card. I hope we can make the rounds here, too, and say thank you to everyone.
Yep.
And but this couldn't continue.
No, it was too difficult to pull off from the West Coast. 4 to 7 a.m. out here, local time, is no man's land, as I've told people. I can stay up. We talked to them about, like, hey,
no man's land. I know.
Can we move to the East Coast?
Yeah.
The previous regime, we had a meeting, a breakfast meeting. We're like, hey, what do you think about Hawaii?
Oh, I love that idea.
Can we move to Hawaii?
That was gold.
We also talked about maybe we can do the show live from 1 to 4 and then replay it, or can we tape it at night when the games are done? We're not going to have breaking news. How many times did we have like major breaking news in the morning when we were live on the air? 7, 8, 10 times over 7 years?
Yeah.
Not often. So we came up and kicked around as many options as possible.
How about in 7 years, no one overslept? We never missed a show. And then yesterday, 2 guys overslept. Yeah. That's funny. We never did. I can't believe that happened.
I know.
You made a prop on that. You could. No one. We never. I was late once. That's when you locked me outside. I hit the royal flush.
That's right.
But that was. No one missed a show in 7 years. Except, I got locked out of my car once. But that was. But in terms of the sleep. Like the alarm. I can't believe, the alarm didn't go off. I can't believe it.
Never mailed in a show.
Yeah.
In 7 years. A lot of pride. waking up this early.
So, Mr. Lombardi, the floor is yours. Why don't you share with everyone your big announcement?
Well, after spending a couple years working with the great Patrick Maher, who I really enjoyed, and then transitioning into Stormy, which has been really a lot of fun, and got to know her and really enjoy our weekday events. We went from 12 to 1 to 3, and it was great. And so now I'm going to transition into the morning show with Grace Remington and Harrison Sanford. Mitch and Pauly, as they announced today on their show, they're going to move to a different time slot, and which opens up the time slot for a VSiN morning show, which I'm excited to be a part of, with Grace Remington and Harrison Sanford from 7 to 10 every morning. And we'll be able to kind of talk about all the things football, sports related, to get you ready on the morning drive.
Yeah, Michael, I know a lot of reaction today on Twitter. Obviously, with Mitch and Paul making that announcement, 7 years in that time slot, reaction especially from the East Coast and a lot of loyal Nesson people. I think they'll be relieved to know who the replacement is for their mornings is going to be a familiar face in Boston and New York and in the Northeast.
Yeah, I mean, look, I tweeted this out today. I don't think we can say enough, as you know, Mike, and appreciate all the things that Mitch and Paul have done for our network. It's big shoes to fill for us. I think the show will be a little bit different because we will have 3 hosts on the show, and we'll all be in different sections of the country, but we'll all be able to communicate and kind of get everybody caught up on the morning and get them ready for the betting day and talk. Obviously, it's the perfect time of the year, Mike. It's football season, so what could be better than that?
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at 0 cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.